All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode, another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy, here with the Game Vault. We're going to talk a little bit about Ubisoft today. I know it's been a sore subject lately. You've been talking a lot about them, but we're going to get away from Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws, at least for the most part. And we're going to talk about Skull and Bones. So let's cue up the music, and we'll get right to it. Alright, so Ubisoft Skull and Bones went on sale for $10 at Best Buy after CEO described the game as quadruple A and attempted to justify a $70 price tag. I think there was a higher price tag too with like a season pass or something like that was in the $100 range or a little over $100. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure there was. Now, Skull and Bones breaks my heart because this was a game I was really looking forward to for quite some time. I was like, oh, a pirate game? Naval combat, exploration, this is badass. It kind of sounds a little bit like Atlas, that game that was developed by Wildcard, that was kind of like an Ark ripoff. I think it was actually an Ark mod that they turned into a game, but whatever the case may be, let's not diverge too much here. But yeah, Skull and Bones sounded badass, right? Fully customizable ships and all that, and really, really sweet. And as the game years pass, this is based off of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which was one of the best Assassin's Creed games, the Skull and Bones game. That was the pirate game where there was naval combat and stuff like that, as well as all your regular Assassin's Creed stuff. So that's what they pulled this game from. And it should be a bigger and better version of the piratey parts of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but apparently it's not. I've seen, when it came out, it got a lackluster reviews, and it just seems to be faring pretty weekly out there. Now, $70, they called it a quadruple A game to justify the price of it. But here's the thing, it's not only that it costs that much, it's also got like season passes and a big store full of cosmetics and all that. So it's kind of a live service game, that's focused on the multiplayer aspect of it as opposed to a single player story. I would have loved this game as a full-on single player campaign, just a big story. You're on the ocean, you're on land, you're visiting different cities, you're going to different islands, you're discovering stuff, you're fighting these sea monsters, all this crazy stuff you could have done with it, made this incredible story. It's very engaging and all that, and you could have put a multiplayer thing on the back end of it, where you have multiplayer aspects of it that people could go in and, hey, if you want to go and PvE with your friends or PvP on public servers, whatever, boom, go have at it and have fun. That could have been a thing, but instead they went for the live service action game, the live service model for this game, and that's, I think, really, really hurt it. That and the fact that, they seem to have left out a lot of stuff. It's supposedly, lots of cool naval combat and all that. I got one of my buddies plays it. He really likes it, and more power to him. It looked like it was going to be great. It really did, but I wanted more. I wanted to board a ship and go hand-to-hand combat with the crew and have to slay them before you take over the ship. I didn't want just like a little cutscene. I didn't want to stand on the ship and knock coconuts off of a tree from the side of an island. I wanted to get down with my crew and go explore and have to worry about, wild animals and maybe indigenous tribes and other pirate factions and, all kinds of stuff like that. That would have been fun. That would have been immersive, and that would have been cool. But yeah, this game just seriously didn't do as well as they thought it would. But so this happens to Ubisoft games a lot. They drop in price fairly rapidly. They do not hold their value. Some games will hold their value for a year and a half before you see a discount on it, or you might see a slight discount on it at 10% off, something like that. A little drop, Best Buy is running a promotion through August 18th where they're offering 10 games for $10 for 10 days, and on the third day of the promotion it was selling Skull and Bones for just $10. They must have a ton of copies of this. Now, this $10 promotion comes in the wake of Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot describing the game as a quadruple A title during the company's third quarter sales call for fiscal year 2024 back in February, about a week ahead of its release. Guillemot was asked by one investor, could you maybe unpack for us the decision to price it at $70? You certainly emphasize that it's designed for a lot of live services. What drove the decision to make the game pay to play when you could presumably limit the size of the player base and thereby PRI in the game? And Guillemot responded, "You will see that Skull and Bones is a fully fledged game. You can see it on the market today. It's a very big game, and we feel that people will really see how vast and complete that game is. It's a really full AAA, quadruple A game that will deliver in the long run." Any of you out there who've played it, what do you think? Is it a AAA game? Is it a quadruple A game? Did you pay $70 for it? And what do you think about it going on sale for $10 already? I mean, we're only a few months out, 6 months out or so. That's a steep discount, you know. If this game had released at $30, $40, you know, it would have been a little more acceptable. If it was free to play and they'd filled it with microtransactions, there's no complaint there, right? I can't complain about any free-to-play game that's full of microtransactions because somehow the studio's got to get paid, and people will pay for that stuff. You don't have to. You know, and if they're cosmetic and all that and not pay to win, then who cares, right? And if it is pay to win, then don't play the game if you don't want to pay. That's what I say, you know. If I wanted to play a game and I was like, oh man, I can play this and all, but I really need to put in $20 every 2 weeks to kind of keep up with the Joneses, I'm not doing it. Forget it. Not worth it to me. Anyway, it's unclear how successful Skull and Bones has been. A rumor from Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming about a week after the game released indicated the game currently has around 850,000 players total at the time of writing, which includes those who have opted to play the game with the 8-hour free trial provided by Ubisoft. So that was a thing in the beginning. In the same report, Henderson detailed Ubisoft spent around $200 million on the game and doesn't expect to make it back. That's a big number, $200 million. We heard that with Suicide Squad, another $70 live-action game. It's kind of funny how that number's being thrown around. In Ubisoft's most recent financial report, it only provided a brief update on the game, claiming Skull and Bones Season 2, Chorus of Havoc, was released on May 28th, bringing improvements to the endgame formula. Engagement and ARPU continue to perform well, driven by the new Battle Pass and an exclusive Hellfest branded bundle. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to continue. 5 seasons, maybe. Maybe it'll peter out. Maybe it'll continue on. Maybe they'll make it work. You know, this is something that, you know, you can. Companies do sometimes fix things, right? They do sometimes make it right. CD Projekt Red did that with Cyberpunk 77. You know, Hello Games did it with No Man's Sky. It happens. Hopefully, Wildcard's going to do it with Ark Survival Ascended. Getting better, but still there's a lot to do. So, you know, maybe Ubisoft will do that. I don't have a lot of faith in Ubisoft, though. Ubisoft won't even let you own your games anymore. Single-player games require an internet connection, and they're shutting down games that weren't multiplayer games and not letting you have access to them anymore. You know, old games from your library. What gives you the right to do that? You know, we bought these games. I get it. We're just buying a license these days. If you don't have a physical copy, you don't have a physical copy. But that's not right. I don't like that direction that gaming's going. Anyway, what's interesting is that Guillemot's comments about Skull and Bones are very similar to his more recent comments about Star Wars Outlaws. When asked by an investor from Bank of America if Ubisoft planned on delaying the game due to negative feedback it was getting, Guillemot responded, "The game has gone gold, so the date is well confirmed for August 13th. Yeah, it's out now. As you mentioned, we'll be showing more content of a very high quality, multiple hours that will really show depths of the open world. That is a key element to the promise to enjoy the exploration of the galaxy with multiple planets, so that will bode well for the game in terms of high quality delivery." The company's chief financial officer, Frederic Duget, also added, "We've said also for Star Wars, the level of quality of the world and the experience is really very high. We're really leveraging our engine. And I think people will love it." Barclays' Nick Dempsey also questioned the sales estimates. The coming was projecting given the pending release of Star Wars Outlaws. He asked, "When I look at the guidance for quarter 2, and if I assume something similar for a back catalog in Q2 and Q1, kind of getting the 200 to 230 million, that sort of range. For the new release Star Wars Outlaws, when I look at the $70 price and then assuming that you might get for it, I'm getting around 5 million units, something in that sort of bracket. First of all, where could I be going wrong with that thinking? Secondly, are you just being pretty conservative in your guidance? Because I guess given the interest in the game, we might have thought it would be more than 5 million units." And Guillemot responded, "We can't comment on the very numbers you're quoting, But what we have factored in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws that reflects the fact that it is among the most awaited games. This guy sounds like a parrot or a robot. Awaited games in the industry this year, and there's a really strong positive community sentiment, and also the fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for an Ubisoft game. So that's what we've been factoring in for the second quarter. There's a lot on the table here with Star Wars. I'm sorry. So much backlash against the brand itself ever since Disney took them over, which is awful. A lot of backlash against Ubisoft as a company because of many, many reasons, including the fact that they don't let you own games anymore, and the fact that they're releasing this game at like $140 package price with a actual mission that's locked behind that higher price, not just that you can't play it if you just buy the $70 one. So many crazy things like that. But back to the original story. What do you make of Skull and Bones being sold for $10 as a Best Buy promotion? If I lived near a Best Buy, I would have considered buying it for $10 just for the hell of it, just to give it a shot. But it'll end up being free on PlayStation Plus pretty soon. It's probably already free on Game Pass. If not, it will be soon. Yeah, Ubisoft, you got to get it together, guys. You're not doing so well. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and a like is always appreciated. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.